on Saturday on penalties that beat Newtown and got them through, of course, to European football. But let's talk rugby in just a sec. And in fact, before we do that, Tom, you've got something in the studio that for people watching on the Facebook page, I think we should just show off. So if you are watching us live on the Facebook page at the moment, Tom, tell us what you've got there, because this is one, I think, for the sporting anoraks amongst us. I always love to see a trophy. What's the story with this?
So if there's any golf aficionados out there, can you name this trophy? Not a cup, because the cup is what we all fawn after. It's taken place in the Celtic Marathon, but this is the predecessor to the Ryder Trophy, which is played. The guy in today, it's 125 years old. Is the of that. It's been engraved right in its home between Wales and the USA. And at the moment, one of the original Ryder Trophy.
Put that on eBay.
That's
now.
You
in Vicky.
From QVC.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. So you three are looking after that tonight. So make sure it stays in one piece.
Okay. I'll do my best.
Yeah, good stuff. Take extra care of that. Always good to see some sporting memorabilia on Pure West. So that's in the studio in the capable hands of Gordon, Fraser and Tom tonight. Let's hope that stays okay. More football to come in just a sec, but let's talk.
Don't fuck me on that. It could well be nicked.
Look after it, Gordon, please. Look after it. Let's get a bit of a roundup, shall we, on the weekend's rugby, and say we'll be talking football before 9 o'clock. But Fraser, you had a really good interview in the first hour of the show with Elgin Vittel, didn't we? Who's a regular on Pure West Sport. Always good to hear from him. Always speaks so passionately and well about his side as well. And it's been some year, hasn't it, for Crymych?
Yeah, they've done tremendously well, Ben. They've obviously got promoted now into the Championship, which had been their holy grail for a while. And they're in the run-in for the title until those last 3 games of the season. You know, crunch match with Newcastle and Sanken with the election in the first hour. They just came up short. But, you know, they've always been colloquial up there, and they've always been strong. And I think it's no surprise that they're one of the few Pembrokeshire clubs to have got trajectory to be this tight unit. They haven't let issues and structural issues rip them apart, you know, and they've players who have gone through their way. You're talking about the 50 youngest players to have come from on that field at the moment. You know, they've got a tremendous youth system, a tremendous school system, and it's paying dividends now. They've overtaken everyone in Pembrokeshire, with the exception of they'll be up in Narberth League next year. And I'd make them big favourites or Pembrokeshire Cup final well the first season that day. They're playing in Narberth, second team, development team, however you want to word it. But you've got to remember, no one who's played any first team action for Narberth this year is eligible to play in that game. I'd personally be amazed if Crymych don't win.
Yeah, so Crymych are a very strong outfit, and they're boosted by promotion as well. They'll go into the Pembrokeshire Cup in confident mood, I would say, Fraser. And Narberth development side will have a very difficult evening, but you never know. In a final, anything can happen, but I can't see anything past a Crymych win, if I'm honest, this Friday.
Let's talk about Friday then. Obviously at Whitland, as you said, Crymych against Narberth in the Pembrokeshire Knockout Cup final. Tell us about this competition first of all. I know it's one certainly the two of you, Gordon and Fraser, have followed for some time over the years, and it's produced some good finals, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's been resurrected in recent times. It went through a very, very barren spell at one stage in the 21st century. There's no point pretending that it used to be huge day. Gordon saying more about that than it used to be one of the iconic days on the it's just because you've won it, Gordon. I was going to let you but it difficult spell when Narberth dominated it. Crowds were poor. They They experimented with putting on a weeknight and then onto Saturdays and so on. But we have had some good finals and some good crowds in recent years. I think it has been resurrected a little bit again.
Unfortunately, National Leagues killed the Pembrokeshire Cup. It killed county rugby as well. But it's just one of those things. You've got to move with the times, and that's what it was at that particular time. It was a huge event back in the 70s and 80s, and as Fraser said, there was massive crowds. There was a lot of interest in it. But unfortunately, once the National Leagues came in and teams throughout the county and every county in Wales got divided, it made it a very difficult competition to get done every season. Or you would get the stronger teams in the final every season. It was very difficult. But anyway, they've sort of resurrected it, as Fraser has said, and they brought in a plate competition as well. So there's 2 competitions going side by side now, so it'll be interesting to see how that actually goes. There's one on Wednesday evening and one on Friday. I suppose the only thing you can say about that, it gives players and teams an extra chance to have a little bit of glory in a final. But on Friday evening, the main event at Whitland, Crymych, as I said earlier, will be a very strong force. Narberth will have a difficult evening to break their stranglehold on. I think it could be a one-sided final. But good luck to Narberth. I hope
they've done well to get there as a young side.
Exactly, they are a young side, and it'll be a great experience for them as well. So it's all on the night, and anything can happen. But they'll have to play their socks off to actually beat Crymych, I feel.
Okay, so was that just checking predictions for Friday, just to be absolutely certain? Gordon, who you going for?
Well, I think that was pretty obvious then from what I was saying.
I just have to. Sometimes
you go for Narberth then.
Yeah, Fraser. Crymych?
Yeah, I'll stick with Crymych, mate. I think.
Good. Okay.
On Wednesday, I can't see anything but. Sorry, I was going to say Wednesday. I can't actually see anything but past the Tenby United win the plate.
Tenby's been going well this season, as I said earlier. Yeah,
they've obviously got a big weekend as well. They need to win and rely on a Berryport slip up at Fishguard to get promoted as well. But I'd say to Pembroke have had a wretched season, haven't they? I don't know how they're looking for numbers. Just go out and give a performance. All right, whatever the reasoning for the wretched season, whether you're blaming players, WRU coaches, what have you, just go out and put some pride into it. Whether it's for yourself, your club, your fans who are there, whatever, just go out and give a committed 80 minutes. Don't because they've let themselves down recently. They've done a lot of walkovers. You can't hide that. They've shied away from fulfilling this season, and here's a chance for at least to show some heart on the way out.
There we are. There's a team talk delivered by Fraser ahead of that.
Yeah, I was going to say very motivational.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, I would have bought completely into that. Over the years, then, just ahead of Friday, some of your favourite finals? We were just going to tick those off. Some memories from you guys in the studio. What's some of your memories? Gordon, do you want to kick us off?
Well, I can go back a long time, obviously, and there was a lot of good finals back in the day, in the 70s and 80s, but I'm going to miss that out because people won't even remember them. So I'm going to go to 2019 down in Milford Haven. Whitland played Crymych. It's the only game that I am aware of, I might be corrected tonight, that after 80 minutes, it finished 3-3. And during that period, we had a hurricane. We had hail, we had snow, in the end, rain, everything was thrown up in the Obs that night. It was a hell of a night. And it finished 3-3, and then in the extra time, it might have been was it the end of April? It was May. Okay, it was in May. During the cricket season. And the worst thing was that it went to extra time, and Whitland scored 2 tries in the extra time period. If memory serves me right, it was Johnny Thomas going in the corner and Nico Sotaro, and the rest of it came from his boot as well.
It was dark by then.
it was basically dark. It was, but it wasn't the greatest spectacle, but it was a hell of a game. It just went on forever.
Wow!
And Whitland won it.
Snow and hail in May.
Funny enough, Whitland in my memory as well. The last time was they hosted a final. It was 2013, and we were talking about it, the cup being resurrected in recent years, and that actually started in in the build-up to that cup final, we'd had some very poor attendances for certain reasons. They'd had, for example, Tenby had played Aberystwyth, I think, the year before, and the game being held in Cardigan. There was a sparse crowd. There wasn't much Pembrokeshire interest outside of Tenby.
Yeah.
I think a couple of years before that, we'd had the scenario we always talk about, a Pembrokeshire Cup final played between Crymych and Aberystwyth in Aberavon. So worked for Pembrokeshire a bit out of that, and it really was dwindling the tournament. And that final, there was a huge crowd from, there was Bowles there, all boys happy. Craig Barnett landed a few hands on Will Crockford in the first few minutes in the most blatant attack in front of a referee not to get a red card. So you had a few scraps to keep Gordon's lot happy there. We were talking about the old days when men were men and everything. And you had a real passionate, committed game of rugby. I think Roy Osborne was actually sent off, which turned the game, and Haverfordwest came through and won it that night.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I saw real joy back on faces, as if I was watching, thinking this means something again.
I think it was like 30 years
That's
since
right.
Haverfordwest had last won it. You know,
and that history was weighing over them, and that meant something to them. That was the first time I remember watching, thinking as an occasion that this is still alive. To be fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff. And if anyone wants to send us theirs, you can do that. Give us a message on the Pure West Facebook page. And Fraser and Gordon as well, the two of you like to have a bit of variety, don't you, in terms of the teams that make it through to the cup final? Is that fair to say?
Well, yeah. I mean, I never got to play in a cup final because I went to Whitland thinking I'd play in a few, and by this point, some bloke in the Telegraph had got us banned. Wrote some article wanting Whitland and Narberth kicked out of it, and as I arrived there, Gordon Thomas got his way. So
I rectified the situation. I got Whitland back in. And my son was playing for him then, so my son had the benefit of me getting Whitland back in. I never told him that, but Fraser just forced my hand.
Yeah, and of course, playing for St David's, there was no plate competition in them days, so we're not near a final. These days, obviously, you got cup, plate, bowl, spoon, dish, whatever. Consolation.
I didn't realise you were so angry.
Whatever consolation prizes they hand out.
I didn't realise that.
No. On a serious note, actually, I was when I was there, we were never.
You can have my medal if you want.
Thank you. When I was there, we were never involved. I never actually thought anything of it. It was only actually when I left and they went back in and I saw the occasion that I realised what you'd done.
I just made it go flat for a few years and then built it back up, mate.
There we are.
The power of the press.
Fraser's still very bitter about some misses. I
didn't realise that. I know now.
He's been waiting.
I have to go on some anger management course.
I've been waiting for a long time for that to come out, Gordon. A long time. Listen,
a bit like Kevin Keegan moment, that one.
It's been building up. We'll let you two simmer down and we'll take a moment and we will come back in just a sec. And we'll be talking Haverfordwest County with the manager. Hopefully Tony Pennant will be with us to look back on that penalty shootout victory as we bring you the final part of tonight's Pure West Sport this Monday evening.
Pure West Sport Show.